am so glad I found these like spooky little cozy horror stories, just these little novellas. They're great. So I keep saying the first title. It's not the first title. What Feasts at Night? That's the one we're talking about this time, because I've had to shoot this like 3 times. I keep saying what moves the dead, but What Feasts at Night is what we're talking about, the sequel. So What Feasts at Night, also by T. Kingfisher, is the sequel to What Moves the Dead. And I won't get into any spoilers or anything, but I just wanted to gush a little bit. I just wanted to gush a little bit about the sequels. And I will admit, more of just a nitpick for me that's like less important. It feels less cozy for like me, only because What Moves the Dead has like the location with it of the like little mushroom mansion. You know what I mean if you actually read it. But that's not the same kind of vibe exactly with What Feasts at Night. It's still great. It's still good. Different vibes though, different locations. But we are still with Lieutenant Alex Easton, who has made their way home, you know, with some friends, to stay in this old hunting lodge of their childhood, and they just mysteriously find out that the old caretaker has mysteriously died of unknown circumstances. And no one really wants to talk about it, but there is also the sense that it's not like a scandalous kind of thing. It's just a sense of like, it was just a lung infection, don't worry about it. Go away. Well, turns out, may or may not have, you know, a ghost involved. And I love how small scale these stories are. I love how small scale some horror stories can get. It's a novella, right? It's generally short, but there's so much packed into it. We got ghosts, we got a mystery, we got awkward characters trying to give their condolences. That was just a funny moment that I really enjoyed. The character writing in general is just great. We got trippy dreams, we got a cool spooky ghost, and we got a crazy widow character, who was a very good morally gray one. And it's all contained in this cozy little hunting lodge of Easton's home. So the horrors are coming home, and that's the main theme, I think, is that the horrors of what happened in like book 1 are sticking with Easton, following them home, and it's blended together really well with the fact that like, yeah, Lieutenant Easton is a retired soldier who's got PTSD, has their own set of nightmares, and that's being blended into the horror stories and how to like work with them both. And also, while I have that one nitpick back in What Moves the Dead about the ending, you know, being good but not as climactic as I was kind of personally hoping, I do not have that same issue with What Feasts at Night. I always need to slow down when I say What Feasts at Night. I don't know why. Because this time Easton isn't just, you know, like called in from a mysterious letter from their friend. No, they're like roped into it personally. It's in their home. It's getting in their head. They're having their own trippy nightmares and is more directly involved in the final battle. That was great. It's a little action-y, I will admit. It's a little bit more, not like action movie oriented, but it's definitely more action-y as opposed to like a horror story scare set in, Final Girl-esque kind of thing. But you really feel, the writing style really lets you feel Easton's like panic and fear set in, and them trying to like fight against that, their resolve, and them like stealing themselves when they really need to. Everything is just really nice and really like woven together. I will admit though, while I preferred the ending to this one, the structure of it, I do kind of prefer the, not the cringe factor, but the actual moments that made you actually like, kind of cringe up a little bit in fear. I don't mean in the like cringy millennial way, but there are moments when you're reading the first book and you're like, oh god, no, wait. That didn't happen so much in book 2. Those like scary, but minor, kind of a small moment of like, oh no, wait. Less of that. But even with that, I was still like invested in the climactic and like horrifying end result of what we got. Like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but as like a fun little teaser, there's like a weird moment of like, I'll say decaying horses. That freaked me out. But yeah, I'll admit, I don't really have too much more to add for this video at the moment because I am intentionally avoiding spoilers. But I will say, definitely read these on like a cozy rainy night with some tea or like a hot chocolate and a couple of snacks. But I am so excited for the 3rd one, and I think it's the final one too, called What Stalks the Deep. That is scary. That makes me think of like water creature monsters, but then there's like this messed up bear on the cover. I like how it went from like a hare to like a horse to a bear. Things are getting bigger, and I'm still very much worried about this bear. But yeah, as like a general update, I guess, I'm about halfway through Mexican Gothic, and I'm about a third of the way through Voyage of the Basilisk. Those are both going great. And yeah, Mexican Gothic, well, I mentioned it kind of had like similar vibes to like What Moves the Dead. It's definitely more unique in its own way. I'm also trying to learn how to crochet. It's not going well. It's a little frustrating. but I know it'll be satisfying once that like clicks in my brain. I'm more one for like cross stitch. Actually, I made this. I don't know. I'm more for like pixel art cross stitching. This is a little easier. I'm just following a pattern someone else made. But when it comes to crocheting, sure, there are patterns, but I didn't know that crochet was both what the stitch is actually called and what the skill is generally called. I'm sorry if you can see a cattail going by. I literally didn't know that you do like one crochet, half a stitch, do a double crochet here. I don't know what any of that means. So we're figuring that out, but cross stitch is so much easier. But anyway, feel free to like and subscribe. Please leave a comment too. I'd love to talk about these kinds of stories. And yeah, I will see you later.